Good morning and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. And when you listen, stream, or download straight to your device, Castbox is your best option. Remember, if you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and comment. So let's get started with Steve, Tino, Gia, and John with the news. Enjoy the show.
Good morning and good night. However, wherever, whenever you listen to the Body Snatchers podcast, we do appreciate it. I'm your host, Steve. Beside me is Tino. Tino, how you feeling?
Chilling, man. I'm good. Had a fun weekend. Super powered. You know, same old, same old.
All right, and we got Body Snatchers' own Xbox advocate, John. John, how you doing?
Ready to get into the show.
All right, John, sorry.
What happens when the show gets into you?
Answer him.
Oh, man. It's already there. I'm living the dream right now.
Is that how you talk to kids on Xbox? You sick.
You gross. John, you're so
fired.
gross. I can't stand it. Pedophiles aside, today we're going to talk about DeadPool 2. But before we do that, I want to talk about Foamcast Radio. It's a new weekly podcast that is all about Nerf blasters and related blaster toys. I want you to subscribe to Foamcast Radio on your podcast app or visit foamcastradio.com. That's foamcastradio.com. For all their Facebook, Twitters, and Instagram, go to the website. They're awesome. All right, so DeadPool 2 came out May 18th here in the States. Probably came out earlier or later all around the world. I don't know. I'm local,
I think we
guess.
got it first.
No, we don't ever get that shit first. No, that doesn't happen.
It's Australian video games, isn't it? I think that's what's fucking me up.
Jesus. You guys, I'm not even going to comment the way that I want to. I'm just going to leave it alone. Just know that you're wrong.
Down Under. So, so this movie, to me, it was just as good as the first one, but this one was a little bit more emotional, which I dig because I feel like that's the most powerful feeling a movie can give me.
Was it really more emotional, though? I feel like it was on the same playing field. It just sucked because, his lady friend didn't make it.
It didn't make it, and he kept talking to her, and, at the end when he was with her, he didn't want to leave her.
I don't know how, I get the story.
You're so cold.
I didn't really care for it. I didn't really care for that part of the plot.
You're both so cold.
I mean, they're doing different things in the movie, so I mean, I'm not mad that they took a different angle. I don't think it ruined the movie. It still made it, interesting. It wasn't like,
oh no, it didn't. But I could have did without it. I would have traded it out for more action or other stuff. Because Cable, I thought was a cool character. I like Cable.
Well, I mean, everything had a pretty good mix. The balance of comedy and violence and everything was, I thought, pretty good. I mean, granted, it was probably more funny than anything else, but it was still, pretty good. It wasn't like, was that Thor 3 where like, you're just like, all right, guys, like I'm kind of tired of laughing. Can we be sad for a minute? Like the sad moments actually like gave you minor feels and like, okay, all right. They slowed it down to the right pacing and it worked. I thought.
But then they would force some chuckles at us.
Yeah, those chuckles were funny as hell though. Like,
I don't think they were forced. I think
For Ragnarok, I mean.
Well, I mean, like in the beginning, they kept speaking Chinese, and he kept speaking Spanish back.
Yeah.
I guess you guys didn't find it that funny. Okay, all right.
No, I had to think about what you were talking.
Yeah, I was about to say. Thought we were talking about Thor.
Oh, okay.
But,
I thought this was the Deadpool show. I'm sorry. I thought that's what we watched this weekend with Ryan Reynolds. I thought that's what this was about. Excuse me.
I was watching it for Josh Brolin. So
I bet you were. You kind of look like him, but with a receding hairline and a bigger gut.
I want to know how much he gets paid.
Enough?
I want to know how much he got paid this year for being Thanos and Nathan Summers for all you nerds out there.
Oh, so you know Nathan Summers. Oh, okay. You want to tell us a little bit more about Cable since you think you know some shit?
He's an ex-person. Cyclops and Jean had a baby, and it looked like him, right?
Did Cyclops and Jean have a baby?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, so it wasn't Jean Grey's clone.
I don't think so. I thought it was their kid.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't Jean Grey's clone. Okay, everybody, just so you know, Steven says that it was not Jean Grey's clone.
I didn't get it? Fuck!
You did not get it. Jesus, man. Yeah.
0-1. 0-1, boys.
I appreciate you for doing your homework for once, though, so thank you.
So would you give him like a 50% for effort then?
No, I will not.
No, I don't want it. I'm gonna earn it, John.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know how this works. Do you want to talk about Cable's power set, too?
What's his power set?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so somebody went to Wiki and read some stuff. He's a psychic user, like his mama. His psychic powers are trash, and there's a couple, variations where pretty much like he had lost his psychic abilities or, They write it in a couple ways where basically his psychic powers don't matter. And they've never really been that dope, honestly. They've been bigger into, his whole cybernetic body and his ability to, hack computers and stuff like that. So that's always kind of been like his strongest selling point. Plus, that dude is swole as hell for no reason. He's taken out like a bunch of like other swole people in the game that you wouldn't think somebody like him could take out. Like he's beat Captain America, he's beat Red Hulk, he's beat Iron Man. Damn near beat Wolverine if it wasn't for Wolverine's healing factor. So yeah, I mean, kind of got to give it to him. And it shouldn't be a surprise too, the way he was kind of like manhandling DeadPool for a good portion of the movie. Like, you should kind of figure where they stand.
Dude's hand-to-hand combat ability plus firearms knowledge was pretty dope in the movie. I like the way they showed all of it.
No, he's a badass for sure. I like him, and I like Forge. We're probably never going to get anything like that again in a movie since Fox keeps screwing everything over. So maybe someday they'll reboot all of this crap under Disney and we'll be happy.
Yeah, maybe, but Fox is a terrible company.
Fox needs to get paid.
Hey, they did a good job with this movie, and I liked the Wolverine Logan references that they made with like the music box in the beginning. I thought that was kind of clever.
Dude, there were so many like little things in this movie. I really wish I could watch it again. Even like the opening credits weren't actually credits; they were just kind of bullshit messages.
I didn't even notice right away, which made me feel like a piece of shit. Like I think Kathy tapped me. She's like, "Look!" I was just like, "What?" Oh,
I think you were about to say the same thing I was. As far as you don't even look at that stuff, you're just waiting for the movie to start.
Right? Don't put their names in my face. If anything, I hate doing the end credits. Like I'll try to read, and then as I'm reading, I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. You could at least put some pictures in here since you're gonna make me suffer.
Right.
Have him dancing like Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of that movie.
Yeah, well, wouldn't be against it. But yeah, he had a lot of really good one-liners in this movie. Like the one line where he says, "Sorry, I'm late. Was fighting a caped badass, and his mom's name is also Martha."
Yeah, he's like, there was a bunch of handy-capable children stuck in a tree. I had to, and she cut them off.
Oh, speaking of all that, I died when he went to the X Mansion. I wasn't expecting all of the things that happened to roll out quite the way that they did. Like I thought the fourth wall thing was funny, and I thought it was funny when they had
Does it a lot.
who was in the room? It was like Beast and
but it was like the younger version of them, right? Because
yeah, that's all that matters now. They rebooted that shit. I mean, that's really not what did it for me. What had me laughing hysterically was just everything that had to do with Professor X. Like when he hopped in the chair and is riding around with it, walking next to not Cyclops, but Colossus. When he was playing in Cerebro,
yeah.
He was like, "I'm just taking Cerebro for a quick spin," and he's like, "That's not how that works." So
yeah, he breaks the fourth wall a lot about like the writing in the movie, how many DC references he had.
Well, yeah, the whole time I kept sitting there like, how are they not getting sued? Like, I don't understand.
I would like to see someone make a YouTube video at some point after this movie comes to like digital and DVD of how many fourth wall breaks. I wonder if anybody ever did that for the first movie, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't as.
They used to make me angry, but
really?
Yeah, they used to, because to watch some movies, you'd have to suspend your disbelief, and then they just go out and get a cheap pop out that.
I mean, what's wrong with that? Have some fun. Everything doesn't need to be so serious. Dubstep is for pussies, and then they kept playing Skrillex.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bangarang.
Yeah, that shit was funny as hell. I was like, oh, thank goodness. That had to have hurt somebody's feelings at least a little bit.
Shade all around.
That's Steven's workout music.
I love dubstep. You like dubstep too, don't you?
Hey, I may have a small playlist in the vault somewhere, okay? Don't worry about that.
Small playlist of 500.
Dude, get out of here. I guarantee you that's what you listen to when you're at the gym. That's your get hype music, push forward, one more rep.
That's what I listen to when I shower.
You're fired too. We're going to talk about Zazie Beetz.
What is that?
Jesus Christ. You guys live under a rock? The beautiful African-American woman that played Domino.
At least every movie you talk about how hot these girls are. You got 2 minutes.
She was funny as hell. She was way funnier than I expected her to be. And, she pulled off the role. She pulled off the role really well. She was funny. She was beautiful. She was full of luck. I really enjoyed it. Russell annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I don't think anybody really liked this character in this movie.
Oh, he wasn't bad.
I mean, he wasn't terrible, but I don't feel like he was necessary either.
Well, who the fuck would have been the villain if not Russell?
Yeah, you needed him for the story,
Yeah.
but he was very hard to like and get into.
Damn it, John! What do you do with your life? We didn't even need that antagonist. We could have just did anything else. Okay, like what? Maybe got a different antagonist.
X-Force goes to Disney World.
Is he fired too?
I like that they killed off pretty much everybody from X-Force like right away, because it was kind of like over the top sequences that reminded me of Will Smith and Friends, but they totally made it really, really funny and killed everybody off. And I feel like that was like a sneak diss.
You should have seen how the movie theater lit up when the Vanisher got stuck on he got electrocuted,
Yeah,
right?
the electrical cables.
On the phone lines, and it turned out to be Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And hasn't he done that before, where he's been in like a big movie, but he only had like a really, really small role, like basically just to show his face?
I don't know. There has to be like some kind of big money to that, or else they would have put him in there a little bit more.
I don't think it was big money. He probably just wanted to be a part of the fucking movie. Ryan probably called him like, "Hey, you want to do this stupid little role in this movie for like 5 seconds for a cheap laugh?"
Motherfucker, you know who Brad Pitt is?
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, they don't always have to be in movies where they're getting paid millions of dollars. Sometimes you just want to be in something just for fun.
Achilles doesn't kill people for money. Okay, he does it for the glory, and that's why nobody will remember your name. So shut up, John. Jeez. How many Deadpool X-Men jerseys do you think they're going to sell this summer? Because I was dying when he came out with that, which there's a couple comics where there was like a variation of it, but I just didn't foresee that, where he came out in his full suit and had the jersey on over it when they first met Russell.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about the training one or the one after that? I want the training one.
Yes, the training one.
I like that one. The training one or the training? What did you say?
The training one. Jesus, what's wrong with you?
So how did everyone feel about Russell's buddy, the Juggernaut?
I like the way he went out when they stuck that big ass cable up his ass. That was funny as hell.
I compared him to X-Men 3, and I just liked the way he was moving it.
Well, X-Men 3 was a disappointment. Nobody liked the Juggernaut in X-Men 3. It looked so corny. His big styrofoam helmet, he just looked terrible. And his corny lines, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," to the little girl. I'm like, dude, shut up, sit down.
I can't
Ain't nobody trying to hear
swim.
that. It was awful. This one was just put together so much better, and I'm glad that they brought him back and like made him cool, because that was just a character where you go back and you're like, dude, all this like, CGI for Hulk and all these cool things that Marvel's done, and you guys give us like in whatever year, it was in the 2000s that it came out. You gave us like a watered down Lou Ferrigno with the styrofoam hat. It wasn't cool.
Yeah, I definitely
he was
liked
too
him
small
in
to be
this,
the Juggernaut.
I liked him in this movie, and I would like to see him in another movie if possible.
I was excited because I had no idea he was going to be in the movie.
I read an article like not too long before this movie came out that I think it may have even been like a couple days or so, or maybe even a week, that he was rumored to be the other villain.
Well, see, I think that's an importance of seeing a movie as soon as it comes out. Avoid these kind of things, and when you go in there fresh, you can experience them like that.
Yeah.
Infinity War hurt everybody's soul because it sold out so bad. Even if you wanted to see it, you couldn't.
I had to stay off my phone.
Yeah, well, not me. I mean, because I saw it like right away because I'm not a piece of shit. But there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of casualties.
Seen it the day after.
Apparently, that wasn't soon enough. You know how fast memes work these days.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
It's getting to the point where I'm probably gonna start recording clips of shit when I go to the movies to see it opening night, like the Thursday night before the real opening night, just so that I can make memes that night, and spoil it for everybody because I feel like being petty.
Dude, the memes, the rate at which memes come out after these major movies is completely ridiculous, and you could tell people are just sitting there recording shit on their cell phones.
Ridiculously great. Yeah, it's time to step my game up. I'm gonna start buying 2 tickets, one for me and one for my tripod.
Give it a seat.
I mean, she's short but tall enough. Just put a camera on her head.
Or pay child prices and go without her.
Yeah.
Cable coming in. He said, "What did I do to piss off a grumpy old man with a Winter Soldier arm?"
Oh, man.
Anybody laugh at that? I mean, I found that to be hysterical. So much shade at DC.
I know, when he's choking him and he's like, "You're so dark. Are you sure you're not from the DC universe?"
But, all jokes aside and everything, I would have liked to see some better character development with Cable. Not to say that his acting was bad. It wasn't. It's just he felt Everything was just so short and rushed
It was simple.
for building his character up. I mean, and let me be really, really clear. I'm not saying he was bad. I really, really liked him as Cable, and I don't think that the movie was bad. I just think that they missed a couple opportunities to kind of build up on the story, like in the very beginning with the the scene where the house is on fire and the teddy bear is burning up and he's taking it with him. Like they could have put a little bit more time into that. Like for instance, the intro to what was it? Which X-Men movie was it where they Days of Future Past or whatever? I think whatever was that the title of it?
What are you talking? Yeah, that's a movie, but what are you talking about?
Okay, the very beginning when they were in the future and everything was like going to hell, and they had Iceman got killed and Bishop got his shit pushed in, and like everybody was just getting wrecked by the Sentinels. That was put together really well because they took the time, to make that like 3 to 5 minute scene where everybody's screaming and dying, and they go back. And I think they did it somewhat with Cable, but they could have had a little bit more emotion in there because it just was like him walking up and seeing things messed up. They didn't really, I think they should have showed Russell, brutally like murdering his family or something, as opposed to just the aftermath. I think that would have been a little bit cooler.
The only one they did was Wade Wilson and his girl, right?
Well, they brought it back at the end where Russell went in. They showed a little bit of it, like when he was trying to explain to Deadpool what happened to his family.
They should have kicked it off that way, though. Like any good movie or anime or story or whatever, like starts off with like a bang. And I think maybe they watered it down because they were afraid because they knew like, some kids would be seeing it, even though it's quote unquote rated R.
I mean, if you think they showed Russell's face at the beginning of the movie, would it have, even without saying his name, do you think that would have kind of given away who the actual villain was going to end up being?
No, because as soon as the actual story got rolling, they introduced Russell right away. So what would it have mattered?
Everybody thought the villain was going to be Cable. That's how they presented it to you.
I didn't think that for a second.
Well, that's Steve's right though. That's how it was being portrayed. Either Cable or, like I said, some of the rumors before the movie actually released was that Juggernaut was going to be the main protagonist. So for a lot of people, Russell,
and you gotta remember,
Russell did throw them off as being
antagonist, kills you.
And you gotta remember, Deadpool's not a regular superhero movie. You gotta have laughs.
The laughs were fine. Again, I just not saying it's bad. It's just it was a missed opportunity. Like they could have gone a lot deeper into it because every movie's not going to be perfect. Everything's not going to hit the palette the right way for everyone. But I think that if they would have taken an extra 2 minutes to develop that a little bit more, it would have hit us a little bit harder because you would have had a little bit more sympathy, for Cable, but you would have been torn because they also gave you a really good mix of, emotion from what had just happened to Deadpool Wade. So it's like, you would have had kind of like conflicting feelings to some degree when they started clashing and actually fighting. That's how I would have took it anyways.
So basically you wanted us to get hit twice emotionally. So Cable was, he just,
that's what makes a good movie. It's good storytelling.
Yeah. From what you're saying though, it sounds like you wanted Cable to just come back from like taking his daughter to the carnival or some shit and then being murdered by Russell.
Well, this isn't Punisher. No, he doesn't. He wouldn't even like need to be there. But I still want to see
Punisher and or Face Off.
Yeah, right. I just want to see her get brutally murdered. Is that so much to ask? Does that make me a bad person?
Yes,
it sounds bad when you say it that way. But they should have had that on screen. They should have had his wife, and she was like, "Honey, go, please, get out of here." And he's like, "No, I'm Russell, bitch. I don't think so. Now you're gonna die." And now you're gonna die. And then Cable's like, "No." That's how it should have been. And then he's got to, come back and back to the present. That's how it should have been. Okay, I'm not wrong.
Well, they put something like that in the middle of the movie, right?
It was more like references to Terminator 2 when they called him, or Terminator in general, and they called him John Connor. And that was funny. That was worth it. It's just, it could have been more. That's all I'm saying.
Well, with this movie, they didn't. I feel like whenever it was getting serious, they were like, "All right, we'll give you a little bit, then here's a joke." Like when he was in the cell with Russell, he was suffering. He was dying of his cancer because his cancer came back and he was ready to die. And he's like, "With this collar on, my superpower is just unbridled cancer. Give me a bow and an arrow, and I'm basically Hawkeye." And everyone laughed. But you were feeling bad with him because he was throwing up, he was clutching, and Russell was trying to saying we're friends, and he didn't want nothing to do with him.
Well, see, this is the difference where Deadpool has more weight to it than I thought Thor 3 did. And I'm comparing them because Thor 3 was trying so hard for comedy and people ate that shit up because people are simple. But the problem with Thor 3 is like, they would take something as serious as, death and genocide, and not like a funny side character death, but like major death or slavery or whatever. And
like Odin dying.
Yeah, and they didn't give you a chance to like seriously feel the gravity of the situation, because you need to feel that for a second and then you move on.
Right.
And with Deadpool, like, it was almost as if you really, and I hope I don't offend anybody actually saying this, but it was almost as if you had a friend. Let's not say cancer specifically, because that's a serious topic, but it's as if you had a friend who actually was sick or hurt in a real situation. And if like Steven, say if it was you and me, we're bullshitters, we talk, but like if I was critically injured, and I was on my deathbed, let's say, I would probably like crack a joke where like we laugh, we chuckle, but like the gravity of the situation is still there based on what it is, right?
Right. No one's gonna go out of that place having a good time.
Right, but you smile, and it's one of those like sad smiles because we're making light of something dark, and that's like on a serious note, like kind of like how you felt for certain scenes like that, So we chuckled at the Hawkeye joke, but then at the same time, like you say, he's spitting up blood, and is clearly on his last leg if they don't turn the tables around. So it's like damn, like what's gonna happen? You're still on the edge of your seat. It's chuckle funny. It's not like ha ha, oh my god, So I think that the kind of humor that they used in certain places was put together flawlessly in comparison to Thor 3.
Yeah, and we always go back to Thor 3 because it was unusual. It wasn't bad. It's a good movie. It was just unusual.
Yeah, it's just a little too awkward for me. Again, I'm the weirdo who liked Thor 2 better. Not to say that the villain was better or the fight scenes. It's just put together a little bit more smoothly than 3, in my opinion. But we don't care about Thor right now. Let's stick to the subject at hand. Like Black Tim and how much of a racist prick Cable is.
He was like a brother to him.
The whole prison scene was pretty great.
Dude, at the very end when he's when Wade's dying and he's like, that drawn out over dramatic scene, and he's looking at Cable in the face and he's just like, look, man. And I forget what he says. I'm just trying to go off memory here. And he said something along the lines of like, don't judge people on the color of their skin, but the content of their character or whatever. And I died. That shit was too funny. He was like, what? He's like, ah.
No, the prison scene was great. I definitely liked it. Yeah, I keep wanting to like go back to Domino.
Because you want a banger?
Well, no, not so much. Well, yeah, but that's beside.
Oh, you don't want a banger.
Like
you banged Diva now?
Showing how her luck power worked was pretty cool. Like some of the situations that they put her in. Well, like they didn't overdo it to make it like, all right, well, that would never happen, but they made it to where it's like, okay, luck legitimately had something to do with how she got out of that particular situation.
Right, like, if you were really lucky, this would happen. Like, when she's like, Lady Luck, take the wheel, and then, luckily she makes some turns, and the truck pretty much drives itself.
I feel like you said luck way too much in a short amount of time.
I'm going to say it one more time. Luck.
Lady Luck, take the wheel. Luckily, shut up. Ultimate disrespect.
You're crabby. Anyone have anything else?
Yeah, you guys are going to keep on talking because we got more to say. Deadpool calling the cabbie Brown Panther.
He's an instrument of death.
Oh, man, they kept treating his life so much throughout the whole movie, but it was hilarious.
It would have been cool if he had a power at the end.
No,
no,
fuck that.
No.
So, like, the very end, though, like the, after credits or during credits, whatever you guys want to call it, the shots that they took at the combination of Green Lantern and the original Deadpool surprised me. Like, it did and it didn't, but like I don't, it was just too funny, man. I couldn't stand it. Like that's what had me in tears, because for years we have gone back and forth over why they would butcher the original Deadpool like that. Even Ryan Reynolds felt that way. Yeah. And I've watched tons of like videos and documentaries where they were yelling at the at the executives at Fox, and they were, our 21st Century Fox, and they were yelling at the costume design people, who were in charge. Maybe it's their fault, and just trying to pin the blame on pretty much anybody they can. And obviously, we got the first Deadpool where they had an awesome redemption, and for them to go back and just take shots at the mistakes that they made. I think
Literal shots.
But I mean, really, the Green Lantern thing killed me too, though. I mean, I really can't say
that was awesome.
I can't say which was funnier. Like, what did the script say? It said something like, or what did he say when he held up the script? He was like,
he said, "This is my big break."
Yeah. It was almost like they just had some extra money left over in their budget, and they're like, "Well, why don't we do this?" Because it wasn't really a part of the story, besides the fact that he was able to get Cable's watch fixed. It was funny. I don't think it was necessary, but it was definitely enjoyable to watch it.
I would love for them to just be able to bring Ryan Reynolds over to the Marvel universe someday. That would be great. Unfortunately, they probably won't do that, and they would reboot it or bring Ryan Reynolds in as a totally different character, which would make us feel some type of way. But I mean, that's what happened with everybody else that came over.
Oh yeah, Captain America and Human Torch.
Chris Evans and Killmonger. Why can I not think of his name right now? Jeez, anybody?
Oh yeah, he was Human Torch too. I don't know his real name.
Michael B. Jordan.
There you go.
There we go.
What, am I like a super nerd, or are you guys just idiots? Like every time I need you guys,
You're on fire. Just keep going.
Yeah, every time I'm like, where's the reference? I need Gia on the damn show.
You're gonna fucking break your thumbs. You keep snapping like that. You hear it through the mic.
That's not me. That's John.
That was
whenever you think of something, you go.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I snap when I think. And you
don't even know it.
You know what's funny is I started doing that after Iron Man 1 when Robert Downey Jr. was doing the finger snap to think. And I thought it was so fucking cool. And here I am 10 plus years later, and I still do it. Like now it's not even like it has nothing to do with it. Like I used to do it as a joke, and now like I legitimately do it when I think. It's the most hilarious thing in the world to me. And I totally didn't realize I was doing it.
When you listen back, you did it like 5 times.
Right? So Iron Man came out. I started snapping my fingers. Next thing I know, I got a college degree. That's what it takes.
Just in the middle of class, snapping your fingers.
So wrapping it up, how funny was the baby leg scene?
That was funny.
I thought it was disturbing as hell, but I laughed.
It was funny. They did their little, what's the name of them? When he did the leg crossing thing.
We're going to be here all day while John figures this out.
John, snap. Snap, bud.
Do you want us to make a flow chart?
Basic instinct. See, I did it without the snapping. You guys are just gonna watch me crash and burn. But no, that whole scene was pretty funny.
All right, join the conversation at bodysnatcherspodcast.com. You can find everything you need to get in touch with us: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. So hang out with us and thousands of other people. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Check out the shop too. Pick up something sexy. If you're still digging more Deadpool after the show, or you're on the fence to see it, Tino just uploaded a brand new video to YouTube for Deadpool 2 telling you exactly why you should go see it. And you can find that video and others at youtube.com/bodysnatcherspodcast. As always, like, subscribe, share, comment. All right, we ready to go?
Yeah, I'll milk and honey at the YouTube. All the babes.
Yeah.
There's no babes.
Yeah.
It's just me speaking to a camera, but I'm kind of handsome if you're, in like the 22 to 31, age group. Not single, but I might be your cup of tea.
All right, for Steve, Tino, Gia, and John, tell someone you love them. Take care.
I love lamp.
John, what do you love? Go.
People.
That's a lie.